Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Eris, for being here, being just you, and of course, being a great mod. Good morning, Reindeer, Erin, Olivia, Gigi, always being here, helpful and modly, of course. Thank you, Wizzy Raiders. As always, not Wizzy Raiders, Shizzy Raiders. You know who you are. I feel like I'm talking to my kids, like you know who I'm talking to. Good morning, greedy bloke. So I did want to show you guys this new thing I got because, as you all know, I am technically challenged, but I am Amazon proficient. So I have got, I didn't even know they made these, but look at this. It's so fun. A wheel of wigs and or torture, depending on. So I have a whole thing for my new little, well, for my 1,000 streamer or my 1,000 people thing, and then for all sorts of shenanigans. My kids were like, I got a new thing, and I have, threatened them with no electronics until they become Amish if they mess with it. And you can, write on it. So I am so excited because holy fazolies. And it turns out we do not have the stomach flu. Apparently, someone did not realize, my middle daughter didn't realize you can't take medicine on an empty stomach. And my oldest son, well, he has a bit of the stomach flu. So it was just a normal day, a volcano and a nuclear power plant on top of a dumpster fire. But we Lysoled everything out, so hopefully we also protected ourselves from the daggone stomach flu ever coming to our house. I hope you guys have your Pingo cards out because I don't know if anyone had Vince McMahon possibly pooing on the head of a former worker while in a threesome. Did anyone have that on their bingo card? Because 2024 is working overtime to fill January up, and I'm a little afraid of February. Vince McMahon is alleged to have assaulted ex-employee with all of the fun toys, pooed on her head like good old Cartman's mom loves, in a bombshell, new lawsuit. Look, I don't write the headlines, I just report on them. Of course, I pick the most weird ones. Good morning, Cool Gamer. Good morning, let's see, Vale Hammer. Again, I did not have this. Former WWE employee claimed Vince McMahon, abused her with things that you would buy from Pure Romance and or Cirilla's or Lover's Lane, depending on which franchise you have in your neck of the woods. Well, yes, I did. It was going to be a Freudian slip, so I was trying to hold that back. Good morning, Rex Roswell. Janelle Grant broke her silence about their relationship with disturbing allegations, including charges that the wrestling magnate, well, he had a shart on her head during a threesome in May 2020 and trafficked her to other WWE executives, according to the complaint filed in a Connecticut federal court on Thursday. Okay. Grant alleged in the complaint that McMahon sent her a text message in May 2020, which read, "I'm the only one who owns you and controls you, or controls who I want to F you." He didn't even use the thing I find most upsetting in this is that he didn't use the real word you. Sir, do better. Her lawsuit comes after the Wall Street Journal reported last year that the WWE was investing an alleged $3 million payment from McMahon to a departing female employee following a consensual affair. Well, I guess we understand why we spent all that money. Grant, who was unnamed at the time, claims she received an initial installment of $1 million, but no further payments toward or afterwards. Oh, so she's just bitter she didn't get $2 million more. A subsequent investigation found McMahon paid $14.6 million to several women who accused him of, well, being just kind of pervy. Sexual misconduct. Good morning, JKD Buck. Oh, well, I mean, she's cute. I don't know if she's poo on your head cute, but look, we don't kink shame here. It's not my jam, though, so I don't know. Look, we know he also apparently showed the nude pictures and explicit videos of Grant without her consent to other employees. He once locked her inside his private locker room at WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and forced himself on her. Look, ma'am, I am not saying that this didn't happen. What I am saying is, again, if you have proof of this, if this did happen, you should have gone to the police the moment it did, because you are now unfortunately lumped in with a bunch of women who opportunistically used the Me Too movement to put themselves forward as victims when they most assuredly were not, to ruin men's lives. So now we look a little sideways at you. Yes, I will be going on to I will be joining Shizzy after this at about 11, and I will be, even though I'm supposed to be kinder to myself, we will be going over, oh gosh, her name is Sadie. We will be going over Sadie and I believe her interrogation. Now, I would like to put forward a little warning. Sadie annoys the ever-living snot and touches off the very petty core of my soul. So I will have no chill with her. I will not go in with the, general, let's see both sides of this. No, I will have no chill. And the petty patch will be fully on when we watch this. I don't like her. Personally, I think she's a terrible human being. I haven't watched the Zachariah Anderson case. I think I've made that very clear. For personal reasons, my first husband was named Zachariah, so it's just not a name that I hear a lot, or that I can hear a lot. And then her pretending to be this, put upon martyred widow just grossed me out to the nth degree, and I could not with that trial. So anyway, if he turns out, if she can prove that he was super duper gross, then, here we have a solution for that here at Mo's, House of Justice. A one-way ticket to Snake Island. But if this is all conjecture and she signed an NDA and a bunch of other stuff, then, ma'am, no. I'm kind of done with women waiting years and years to come out, and, after they've signed an NDA, after they've taken money and everything else, I'm a little done. So I am willing to wait for all of this to go through court and, wait for evidence, and you can have your day in court, but I'm kind of done with these women doing this. So there you are. I'm not going to believe all women. I'm not going to believe all men. I will believe facts as they are presented. In other news, rest in peace, toothless guy from Deliverance. Herbert Coward, known for Toothless Man role in Deliverance, died in a North Carolina highway crash. Herbert Coward, known for his Toothless Man role in the movie Deliverance, died Wednesday in a crash in Western North Carolina highway, according to authorities. He was 85. The crash happened Wednesday afternoon as Coward and Bertha Brooks, 78, left a doctor's appointment. North Carolina Highway Patrol Sergeant M.J. Owens said by telephone on Thursday, Coward pulled out onto U.S. Route 19 in front of a pickup truck, which hit his car, Owens said. Coward and Brooks, as well as a chihuahua and a pet squirrel, were killed, he said. Okay. Coward, who lived in Haywood County, was famous locally for having a pet squirrel, he said. The 16-year-old driver of the truck was taken to the hospital as a precaution. Authorities don't believe speed or distraction were a factor in the crash, Owens said. Coward had a small but memorable role in John Boorman's 1972 classic film Deliverance. The film starred John Voight, Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty, and Ronnie Cox as a group of businessmen canoeing down a river in remote Georgia. Look, to be fair, we are all afraid to go to Georgia now, too, so that's because of Fannie Willis. Their adventure turns into a backwoods nightmare when mountain men assault them. I mean, Coward's character, known as Toothless Men for his missing front teeth, is one of the men who hold several of the paddlers at force multiplier point during the assault. Coward became the indelible face of one of the most infamous scenes in 1970s cinema, contributing the line, "He got a real purty mouth, ain't he?" Well, I'm sure I do, in all seriousness, I hope that it was quick and painless for all of them, man, woman, chihuahua, and squirrel. And I hope they are in peace in heaven or whatever you believe in. I believe in heaven. Y'all can believe in whatever you want to believe in. And I hope that the 16-year-old gets some help too, because I can't imagine just learning how to drive and someone pulls out in front of you and it would be so hard to deal with that guilt. Even if it wasn't your mistake, it wasn't, this gentleman obviously pulled out in front of him. He couldn't stop in time. Even when it's not your fault, I can't imagine having to be 16 just learning how to drive and having to deal with all of that. So hopefully the parents are and the community is surrounding that, young person with love, because I just can't imagine that. So in all seriousness, I do hope that they are helping him or her or they, them. Look, I am not getting canceled today. It's a Friday. I already have to make fun of Taylor Lorenz and deal with Sadie and do a Barbie review. And I done dealt with puke yesterday. I'm a woman on the edge. In other news, the parents of the Kansas Chiefs fans that were found frozen in the yards, this case is getting really strange really quick. So every time I turn around, it seems like someone else is coming out of the woodwork to add another piece to this. And it does look like there is going to be something odd. It did seem a little bit shenanigan-y that the police came out right away to say, hey, there is nothing odd about this. And people were like, hey, 3 people turning into, yardsicles does seem a little odd. And a guy saying that he was asleep for 3 days. Like, I'm just going to throw out there a little bit odd to me. Parents of Chiefs fan found frozen to death along with 2 friends in the yard think trio was dragged outside by scientist Powell. Quote, he concocted something. So I will say that this is coming from, one of the families of the victims and or deceased. So this is not, a toxicology report or anything like this. But there are things adding up in, the person who rented the house, the scientist's story, that just are not adding up. The family of one of the 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans found dead under mysterious circumstances in a friend's snowy yard has wildly suggested they could have been drugged and left for dead. Ricky Johnson's father made the explosive, unfounded allegation even as cops made clear they are not treating the deaths as suspicious and stressed that it is not yet clear whether drink or drugs were involved. The friend inside the house, respected HIV data scientist Jordan Willis, has also strenuously denied knowing anything about the plight of his 3, dying friends, maintaining he was asleep inside with headphones on. Ricky Johnson Sr. told Fox News Digital that his 38-year-old son was not irresponsible and would not have gone outside in the snow without a coat to freeze to death alongside his friends David Harrington, 37, and Clayton McGinney, 36. Quote, I believe he drugged them, dragged them outside, waited 2 days to call the police, Johnson Sr. said of Willis, whose attorney trashed the claim as ridiculous. Quote, he may have done some not legal street pharmaceuticals and stuff in the past, but I do not believe all 3 of them did illicit substances and fell over dead in that backyard, Johnson Sr. said of his son, who had 3 children of his own. I'm not going to say that during a game he didn't have some drinks, but he wasn't irresponsible. He wasn't irresponsible that he was going to go outside and freeze to death, he claimed of his son, whose coat was left inside the rental house where his pals had watched the game. You're talking about 3 grown men. If he was out there just freezing like they said, he would have kicked out a window to get inside the house, the father continued. Johnson's mother, Norma Chester, shared the same theory while conceding it was just her thinking rather than based on specific evidence. Quote, seriously, these were responsible men. How did they go in a backyard and freeze to death? All 3 of them, she asked a news site. Now, I think what I will do is I want to look at the actual weather stats, because if it was like a flash freeze, but if they had drunk a whole lot, if there is a point in hypothermia where you actually feel hot, and they've found people that have taken all their clothes off because you start to feel hot, your body gets out of whack. And, but again, I am just wildly speculating like the parents are. And I can see this because none of this makes sense. And the guy's story about sleeping for 2 days, not answering texts, not answering anything, doesn't make sense. And then Eris says it sounds a little like bath salts. Apparently it makes you feel all hot. People often take off clothing. But were they found naked, or were they just found, out kind of in their jerseys and sports ball wear? I don't know. I haven't delved too deeply into this because we don't have any concrete evidence. And as much as I like speculating as much as the other gal, but it almost seems gross to kind of go into a full speculation mode when we don't have all the answers. And then, I could be putting something out that is completely wrong and people could run with it. And, I would rather wait for the toxicology report to come back or something substantive from the court case to come back. That way I'm not giving you guys a bunch of, random Mo theories, unless I specifically state this is a Mo theory. The Kansas City Police Department said that foul play is not suspected as detectives await autopsy and toxicology reports. This case is 100% not being investigated as a homicide, Captain Jake Bacina told Fox News Digital. Willis's attorney, John Picarino, also immediately dismissed the wild theory as nothing more than baseless allegations from grieving parents struggling to understand the tragedy. That's ridiculous. Piscinero said to Fox News Digital of Johnson's parents' comments, "He's a scientist, and sometimes how he's to blame. That's opinion, not based in fact." The lawyer further stressed that Willis and the victims were close friends. "There's no allegation of animosity between Jordan and his three friends," the lawyer said of the trio, two of whom want to speculate, but it's not like anyone ever called the police saying, "We're afraid of this Jordan guy." "I understand that people are hurting, but that's no excuse to throw baseless accusations at Jordan." The lawyer did not immediately respond to the Post's request for further comment Wednesday. Johnson, Harrington, and McGeaney were found not alive at Willis's rental home on January 9th, 2 days after they'd gathered to watch the Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The victims' relatives said that when the police officers responded to the house, Willis met them at the door in his boxers with an empty glass of wine in his hand, so an empty wine glass. Willis's attorney told the news outlet that the stemware contained water and it had been refilled after being used to drink wine the night before. But he said that he'd been sleeping for 2 days. So in a previous interview with the Post, the lawyer said that his client was asleep on the couch while his victim's relatives spent 2 days frantically trying to find them. He was asleep. He was asleep on the couch. The last memory he has is of them leaving out the front door. He doesn't know what happened with them until, the police came Tuesday right to his house. The attorney later told Fox News Digital that Willis did not hear anyone knocking on the door because he was sleeping with noise-canceling headphones and a really loud fan. I don't know. Now, I will say, as a person who just got a pair of noise-canceling headphones, because I think I've talked about this before, but if I'm having a bad moment with my leg, additional outside noise and the boys being themselves, any additional noise can be kind of hurtful. So I actually did buy a pair of noise-canceling headphones, not Bose or anything crazy. I think they were $30 and they were pink and sparkly. So obviously, but I could hear my own heartbeat. It was rather disorientating to just be able to hear what I was listening to on my cell phone, because I'm so used to just wearing one earbud and listening to the house or being aware of everything that's going on. I don't know if other people are used to kind of always having noise canceling headphones on or that thing, but it was oddly disconcerting for me to not be aware of what everyone else was doing. It was nice, I mean, to not hear all of the shenanigans going around in the house, but it was very disconcerting last night. It was nice, but disconcerting. So there you go. Mo has to be listening in on everyone's conversations. In other news, well, so I got the idea with the one earbud from actually a self-defense instructor. I've never fully taken a self-defense class. I was going to before I got hurt with my leg, but my gym instructor used to do self-defense classes, and she said, don't ever wear both of your earbuds, especially if you go walking by yourself as a woman. And I tell my girls to never wear both of their earbuds, whether they listen to me or not. But, just to be situationally aware, especially if I'm out in a store or, just walking, I like to be able to hear. I watch way too many trials. I'm like, nope. Not that I'd be the first pick as a fluffy, mouthy person to try to get into a, van with a bunch of candy, but still, I will be didn't help me with the deer, but darn you sticks, having sharp-witted political commentary I was paying attention to. In other news, Even the Amish are getting carjacked or buggy jacked. I don't know. And this is the magic of taxidermy. I don't know why even Yahoo News can't have a video that matches. Good morning, Spirit Matter. And Gigi, that that might happen. I'm waiting for the full report. I hope that the report will make sense of this and will give the families peace, because I think that's really going to be the big issue here. I really don't want to see a mountain goat get, you know, shot. Um, I want the families to have peace about this. Losing a family member, a dad especially, and all of these men, I think, had children, had wives, had families that really worried about them. So that terror of not knowing where they were for 2 days and then having your worst fears confirmed, I want answers for them. And the sad thing is, and I know from experience, is that you think that when you get those answers, it's gonna make more sense and it's gonna give you peace. And it does for a little bit, but it's still, I hope they get all the help that they need. I hope that this outpouring of support continues and that their walk, it's gonna suck balls. Grief just sucks. And I hope that it's easier for them than it was for me. That's all I can hope. In other news, even the Amish are getting carjacked or buggy jacked. An Amish family had their horse and buggy stolen from a Walmart parking lot while they were shopping. Did you have the Amish getting carjacked on your... So we have Vince McMahon doing a Cartman's mom and the Amish getting carjacked. January, you are trying to go out with a bang. An Amish family had their horse and buggy stolen from a Walmart parking lot while they were inside shopping, police said this week. The Sturgis Department of Public Safety in Michigan said in a news release that the police were called to the Walmart in Sturgis, about 150 miles west of Detroit, on Saturday over a report of a stolen horse and buggy. A truck driver who was parked in the lot told police that he saw a woman stealing the buggy. He provided a description of the suspect. Later that evening, the horse and buggy were found a little more than 2 miles away from the store, a statement said. A woman who was staying in a nearby motel was arrested without incident, the police said. The officials say that the 31-year-old woman, who is not named... No, we must name and shame this woman. Who steals from the Amish? I mean, honest to God, who steals from the Amish? I mean, look, I am somewhat irreverent. I love the book Lamb from Chris Moore. It is hilarious. It is irreverent. It might be a venial sin, I don't know, or a cardinal sin. I haven't kept up on those. I don't know. But, it's Lamb, the, gospel according to Biff, Christ's childhood friend. But even I will not steal from the Amish. Had already been approached by police early in the day at the same Walmart. They didn't disclose the reason for the initial contact. Good morning, JB. She was charged with larceny and larceny of livestock, pending an arraignment, and is being held in the St. Joseph County Jail, according to the Sturgis Department of Public Safety. The horse was unharmed, and the family had their buggy returned, officials said. According to Amish America, a website about Amish culture and communities, Michigan has the 6th largest Amish population in the U.S. More than 10% of the state's Amish population live in a community near Centerville, roughly 14 miles from the Sturgis Walmart. Yeah, I can't get him any closer to. You are being a pain, Mr. Frybert. He's got. Well, I think it's maybe the English uh, making a website for the Amish. I don't know. I didn't realize there was a difference between Amish and Mennonite. So when I was very scandalized when I was 12 and I uh, was with my aunt and I saw a Mennonite man driving a car and I said, "Does he know that he's blaspheming?" I'm like, I hate to be the person to break it to you because I'm not even Amish, but you're not supposed to be driving a car. And she's like, "No, he's Mennonite. There's different levels of Amish." And I was like, "Oh, like Catholic and Episcopalian." And she's like, "Yes." I was like, "Interesting." But I love how I was so scandalized at 12, like, "You're not doing Amish right." I had almost become a Karen. It was strange. In other news, a high schooler's ID, a possible serial killer in a 40-year-old cold case, and reveal their findings on a true crime podcast. Now, hopefully this turns out better than the Michael Turney case, because I think here's why it's good to have LawTube input on some of these true crime, podcasts, because what I think true crimers, if they don't respect kind of the LawTube community, is that some of this information that they bring forward is not admissible in court. You can have a lot of hearsay stuff, you can have a lot of things that look super duper shady, but if it is not admissible in court, you cannot, bring it up. It is not going to. You can feel in your soul, to the very bits of your soul, that your dad, is super guilty. But if you can't articulate that in court and prove it to a jury, then you can't take that and get the justice you want from the legal system. And I think that there needs to be a better marriage with that. And I know there's different things and different thinking, and that's why I like, Baker and myself and Shizzy, that we kind of marry those two. And we're not afraid to ask, okay, hey, a lawyer person, is this right? I wish more true crimers would be okay with that. To Catch a Killer, Classroom Edition, when Tennessee sociology and history teacher Alex Campbell decided to have his students try to solve a series of cold case slayings in the spring of 2018, he never thought they'd end up identifying a suspect and landing a true crime podcast 6 years later. In fact, he told his original group of students to be prepared to fail because top law enforcement officials had, quote, worked on this case for years and hadn't gotten anywhere, Campbell told the Post Wednesday. All the Elizabethton high school students wanted was to identify one of the women, spread the word. My students had never ever disappointed me. I've given them some very hard things to do, Campbell said in a phone interview. But when they know they are helping people, they worked very hard. They never cease to impress me. Now those students are revealing their findings in a 10-episode podcast called Murder 101, sharing just how they obtained their evidence. This might be one to actually listen to. In 2018, more than 20 youngsters set out to find the connection between a long trail of red-headed women who had been killed in the surrounding area and how they might be related. Dubbed the Redhead Murders, hey, I feel... no, it's just one wig and a hat. It's very long, and since I don't have long hair currently, it gets in the way, so I just braided it. I pulled a flux, and then I felt like wearing a hat today. Who knows? I'm embracing my full... Yeah, I don't know. I hope not. I'm not even a real redhead, Your Honor. I'm really a blonde. I know. We already have enough problems. The sun's gonna take us out anyways. I mean, look, I identify as semi-ginger the way my body takes lidocaine and my aversion to the sun. The mystifying crimes involved up to 14 possible victims whose bodies were found abandoned along major highways in the South. It is believed some of these women were women who exchanged money for certain activities. Thank you. That's exactly what I was going for. Actually, I have to do a video as Taylor Lorenz, so I'm keeping the hat, you know. I shouldn't make fun of my elders, but she's going to hate that. And I'm going to love it because I think I'm actually older than her, allegedly. And in that one, oh, what Campbell's class originally set out to do was simple on paper, try to see how many of the women could be connected to a singular unaliver. And in that one semester sociology class, they agreed 6 of the victims were potentially connected to the same man, who they called the Bible Belt Strangler. Those women have since been identified as Lisa Nichols, Michelle Iman, Tina McKenney Farmer, Elizabeth Lamotte, and Tracy Walker. One from DeSoto County remains unidentified. As part of the class, Campbell brought former FBI behavioral analyst Scott Barker, who told the students that in order to confirm their connection, they had to identify 4 things: time frame, geography, and modus operandi, more commonly known as MO. I'm always here, y'all. And a signature. All women were found between 1983 and 1985, Campbell said, in nearby areas and state. 3 were from Tennessee and the others were from West Virginia, Kentucky, and Arkansas. They also all were unalived from close-up conflict and were dumped in highways or on highways. One of the women were found nude in a refrigerator, a student revealed on the podcast. Another was merely a skeleton when she was found by a driver after her body had laid on the side of the road for months. A third was found over a guardrail, badly beaten and obviously with a neck hug, and was 10 to 11 or to 12 weeks pregnant at the time. What surprised Campbell the most was the empathy his students built for the dead women over the course of the semester. You, as a teacher, plan out what you want your students to learn, the educator of 23 years said, but you can never predict what the students really learn, and they learn so much more than I ever imagined. The proudest moment came when his students started referring to the victims as their 6 sisters. Despite the women's real families not pushing the cops, the students decided it was their job to keep fighting for their justice. For 14 to 17-year-olds to think that way, it just really impressed me about the maturity of my students, Campbell said. Parents were also on board, including a father who was a former police officer who hoped his daughter would learn how to avoid similar situations that the women went through. But the Elizabethton high school students did more than just learn about the real world. They had even identified Jerry Johns as a potential suspect. Johns died in prison in 2015 after being convicted of strangling a woman of the night in Knox County, Kentucky in 1985. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation later announced the late trucker was a suspect, giving no credit to the students or podcast producer Shane Waters, which Campbell said he took harder than they did. The TBI is investigating to see if Johns can be tied to other redhead murders. Although he does not have students actually working on the case at the moment, as the class is only taught once a year, Campbell thinks that the students' work, both from 2018 and last semester, could lead to justice. I really think we'll get justice for these women, the teacher who has taught the school for 15 years told the Post. It's a story about triumph and contrarianism. Yeah, it's his squid toy. I know, we're loud and mouthy though, to be fair. Just uh in what statue are you talking about? I have no idea, your officerness. A city's missing statue turns up after nearly 30 years in a local yard. This would be my ass. This would be my ass. Piss me off. Like, well, that is the ugliest statue I've ever seen, so this would not be me. But a statue that went missing from Louisville, Kentucky nearly 30 years ago has been returned to the city by a man who had it in his backyard. David Greer said his father worked on a renovation project in 1996 at the Belvedere, an elevated event space in downtown Louisville, when he brought the statue home. Dad said they tossed it to the side and he asked if he could have it, and they said sure. And that's where it began its life at our house, Greer told WLKY TV. The statue depicts the Greek god Pan playing the flute. I don't know. It looks slightly demonic to me. Let's see if we can. Yeah. No, that looks. I know, Farrell. Where is this? Is a cursed statue. That looks like Peter Pan with the little berries. Those are some prominent little berries on that statue. And no, 30 years ago were the 70s. I'm just saying. It was not the 90s. I'm going to need you to stop with that. Look, I want a giant, I want all of those octopi with the middle fingers that I saw on Temu, but Mr. Mo said no. Let me see if I can. Let me go back and see if I can pull just a still image of this cursed looking thing. It is just ugly. All right, that is what he stole. And quite frankly, I don't think the city should have asked for it back. Yes, send it. I want a giant cat bed. Let's see. I didn't have any clue what it was. I mean, it was just this little guy playing a flute, and I was like, okay, it's art, Greer's sister, Sherry Eckel, said. Greer said he decided to do some research into the statue's history in December and discovered the Louisville Metro Public Arts Department had been searching for the artwork, which was created by artist Charlotte Price. He put two and two together and reached out to the city and said, hey, I think we have something that belongs to you. So he was very interested in returning it to the city, and we're very happy to have it back, said Jessica Kincaid, director of the city's Office of Arts and Creative Industry. Kincaid said the statue is still in good condition despite nearly 3 decades without proper upkeep and is now being appraised for the city. She said the city will decide soon where the statue will be installed. Greer said he was happy to have the statue returned to where it belongs, as long as it goes to wherever it needs to be put back out for people to see it again. Again, this thing looks cursed. It's got hollowed little eyes. Look, it's art. Ooh. Oh, and in horrifying news, and you'll never be able to unsee this, so I share this with you because I can't unsee this. Reese's Valentine's Day pink heart candy compared to a ball sack, and now you can't unsee it. And now I can't unsee it. And therefore I share it with you. They're going nuts. Social media users are giddy to discover that pink cream heart-shaped Reese's peanut butter cups seem to resemble a different body part altogether. The snack-sized Valentine's Day treat take the appearance of a dangling scrotum when turned upside down. I mean, they're not wrong. Who else is going to take a black food marker and start drawing peens on these? Look, this might be Mr. Mo's Valentine's Day gift. A bunch of peens. Many astute sleuths observed, Reese's thought pink hearts would be cute, but I think they missed the mark on this one. A user posted on X Wednesday, I can't unsee this, another wrote on Facebook. The pink Reese's Valentine's hearts are something, someone wrote on X. Adding insult to injury, parent company Hershey boasts that these snack-sized candies are perfect for dropping off on a coworker's desk. I'm getting these in a teacup. I am teabagging everyone. Oh, come on. You know, every single person, every single dude is putting this on top of their dude friend's head. And this is going to end so effing Reese's. Now, I know that you're sort of family friendly. Lean into this. Do a Halo commercial where all the dudes are doing dude love things and they're putting it on their friend's head and, like, you know, roasting each other. I'm just saying, look, it's just lean into it. Squab Bob, those look like very sad boobies. Those are very, very old. Those are Grandma from the Nutty Professor boobies. Good morning, Christy Marie. I know, I'm glad that because I have been craving some Reese's cups like nobody's business, but I think they finally found a way to turn me off of Reese's. Some, with their eye on the ball, suggested the resemblance to a rather round rear of SpongeBob SquarePants character Patrick Star, and apparently the shape of the Reese's themed treats are something customers got quite testy over. A Florida woman sued Hershey for $5 million last year, claiming that the shape of its candy don't match what's on the packaging. Ma'am. Fortunately for the more intimidated population, the hearts come in white and standard milk chocolate brown. It's multicultural ball sack. That's it. I'm getting a whole package of these. We are... A 10.2 ounce bag of the white ones cost $11.99 on Amazon. I don't know if I can just buy the white ones. I feel like that's not diverse enough. However, it seems that plenty won't allow the strange shape to dangle in their minds. You get a sack, and you get a sack, and you get a sack. Yes, they come in white and milk chocolate too. I give up. I give up. I can't. That's it. 2024, you finally broken me. Scrotal Hershey's. I didn't have that. That's it. I didn't think I'd do this on air, but we are adding to the what in the rapture jar right now. What in the rapture? I didn't think I'd have to add live on air, but if I don't remember this now, we've got Vince McMahon pulls a Cartman mom and Reese's ball sacks. What the actual... This is going to go yellow. It's odd. The ones that I think are going to go yellow are all green, and the ones where I don't talk about anything get a little coof warning at the bottom. Who knows anymore? YouTube's weird. Okay. So for the 26th, first we have Vince McMahon pulls a Cartman's mom. Allegedly. And Hershey's Reese's box. What? You know, the sad thing is I have to go back and rewrite these because I can never read my handwriting. So I go back and rewrite them at the end of the day or end of the month. Yeah, Fry's like, I don't care. You not give me any Reese cups because they are chocolate, but I like peanut butters. Again, Squab Bob, I say you lean into it. You get a bunch of guys playing Halo or Mass Effect or whatever the new thing is. And then you just have them, doing, roasting each other guy stuff and the teabagging thing. Look, come on. If it looks like it, just lean into it. I know they won't, but I'm just saying I would. Which probably means it's not a good idea. To be honest, y'all have billions of dollars at stake. I'm just thinking about what's funny. So, I thought so. Hello, Annabelle. Welcome. And that was our final story. Well, since I'm trying to be a little bit better and, not eat candy, I think it's actually, maybe they did this just to make sure I wouldn't eat Reese's for Valentine's. They're like, Mo is struggling with the whole candy thing. Let's... And for summer, the Reese's banana. In diverse colors. See, this is why it pays to have at least one person with a slightly dirty mind on your product development team, because I can tell you if I was on the board, I'd be like, hey, guys, these are not hearts, y'all. This is a scrotum. Of course, I'd be giggling too hard I'd feel bad. I'd feel really bad because everyone would be real excited from R&D. They'd walk in, look what we've got for Valentine's Day. And then I'd start laughing hysterically like a 12-year-old and making all the puns. I'd be like, yeah, it's a sack full of delight. I mean, who wouldn't have the balls to say I love you with this? I mean, this is why I don't have a regular job. This has to be intentional. God bless whoever is the shitlord that did this at Reese's Company. You have given me laughter, and you've added to the What in the Rapture jar for 2024. It's quite full for February, or for January, so February, I feel like I'm going to need another jar by February. Oh, JB, I am getting all of these for my husband. I am getting edible food markers and I am drawing peens on them. I might send some to Sal. In fact, I feel like we should start a campaign to send them to Sal. Oh my gosh, I could just see Sal opening boxes and boxes of Reese beans. Don't do that. That would be very, very mean. Very, very mean. Don't do that. Okay. With that, I am going to go because I'm going to change this wig to a more serioso wig for the Sadie thing, and I'm going to let Frybird out before I go talk to Shizzy. And I have you guys redirected so you guys can get a little bit of a snack, a little bit of a walk around. Go order your Reese's novelty candies and food grade pens for no reason. And and do what you have. Oh, crud. Okay, if I hid someone, I didn't mean to. It was a fat finger, and I will undo that. I am sorry. I'm trying to become semi-competent in Streamlab and OBS and model. Look, big changes are coming. Good things are coming. I am becoming, well, slightly crummy in OBS and Streamlabs. And one day I will learn things and it will be awesome. I've got so many ideas, just not the technical know-how. But we are lucky that this group loves to help each other. And when one person figures something out, they help each other. So this is awesome. So things are evolving. I have this weekend, I'm going to try to move some things around. So expect some good changes. As long as my leg and the weather cooperates, we should have some new stuff going. I think. Possibly. You never know. There are children involved. Have a wonderful day. Say something kind to yourself. Say something kind to someone else. It is the easiest way for us introverts to interact in a world that requires us to be around humans. And we are a little worried about that. Have a great day, and I will see you in a little bit on Shizzy. Bye, guys.